And here we go, guys. How are you doing? It is a interesting day here. We're just going to give some people some time to get in here as well. Let me go ahead and adjust my camera here. Just have to post the links to a couple different places, and then we'll go. Then I'll get writing here. I'm going to be joined by DLD After Dark in a second as well, and we're going to talk about this new rule because I have some insight onto it, and it looks exactly like I thought it was going to look. So we can discuss that from here. If you don't know who I am, my name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and this is John Crump News Wolverines, where I discuss 2A issues every day. And if you're in a hurricane area, I hope that you stay safe. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what is going on. I'm going to do a little recap, then I will jump into it. Since we're going live, this is big news. Okay, so a while ago, I reported that, and also the New York Times reported at the same exact time, which is kind of salty, but that Biden was going to announce new rules regarding the selling of firearms. That was picked up, and everybody went crazy with it. At the time, we didn't have too much information other than what I was able to get from my sources, which means that there will be some exceptions and stuff like that. So we're going to get into those exceptions as well. But yeah, so Biden is trying to work towards universal. The audio is breaking. Do I sound
Did
good
I break
to you?
the audio? You sound
No.
good to me.
Okay. So the Biden administration wants to work towards universal background checks, and the way that they are doing it is exploiting something in the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which some people said was no big deal, and it turns out, yeah, it's a big deal. Where they changed the definition of a gun dealer from someone that engaged in a livelihood, to make a livelihood from selling firearms, to engage into making a profit from selling firearms.
I mean, are these intentional Easter eggs?
Yeah. So let me just go ahead and explain it. So what happened here was today, Biden issued an executive order to do exactly what I said he was going to do. He's ordering the DOJ to come up with new rules, and also DOJ down to the ATF, because they're going to be the ones that are actually coming up with new rules to redefine the selling of firearms, and the definition of being in the business of selling firearms to include more people. So
I'm gonna wait.
I don't think this is on any news channels right now. Like, I checked right before I went live, and it wasn't. And I know a lot of people are scrambling to get back to their offices to actually read through it or check it out, because I might or might not have a little sneak peek. Well, I do have a little sneak peek of what's in there.
Crystal ball.
If you watched my last video, it's exactly like I said it was going to be. So we have Dark from DLD After Dark, Flying Richard, don't know him. Okay, so this is what is going on here. So we don't know too much still because the rule is still being worked on. It's been worked on for a few weeks now, even though the Biden administration just put out the order to start working on it now. And the reason why I know that they've been working on it for a couple of weeks, because some of the stuff that was that they said is definitely going to be in there was already announced, like the exception for selling firearms to a family member.
To an immediate family member.
Yeah, that's in there. There is some also different things about how many firearms that you need to sell for profit. There's
I thought it
also
was
something
one.
that's very interesting in there that says if you sell the same type of firearm multiple times, so like you have like 28 Glocks.
How do you know that?
Well, you have a lot of Glocks.
YouTube short yesterday.
Yeah, I did actually post that. That was a
Yeah,
slight
I know,
flex.
I know. So if you decide, hey, I don't need 28 Glocks, I'm just going to get rid of 2 of them.
Yeah.
You will need an FFL to do that.
Or half of them. Or
half of them. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
If you sell multiple of the same type of
more
gun,
than one. That's ridiculous.
You're going to need an FFL to do that.
So right now, like in West Palm Beach, I can go to the gun show and I can get a table. I can throw n number of my guns on the table and sell them peer to peer, person to person, not be an FFL. Or other people don't spend I don't know if it's 120 bucks for a table. They just walk around. Like they'll bring 6 guns in the trunk of their car and they'll walk around with, like piece of paper taped on them, M1 grand, $2,000, and they'll have it slung over their shoulder.
That's basically going to be out the window.
So this actually is. Are you saying that this is going to trump state laws? Because, like, for an example, in Virginia, you used to be able to do private transactions, no problem, but in Florida, they're still lawful, right? In Virginia, they were recently.
Yeah, the
that law was
universal background
changed.
checks, but you will need an FFL even in Virginia, even though Virginia has universal background checks. For people over 21, if you're under 21, you don't have universal background checks, which is
18 to 21.
You're exempt
right?
from universal background checks.
So John, can you explain what an Easter egg is?
An Easter egg is something that's hidden. Now, here's the thing. I know what you're getting into it. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Do I think that they've always wanted to do this? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do I think that they wanted to do this, when the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act came out, I said, this is why they are changing that. This is coming down. This is the whole entire plan.
And everyone said you were crazy.
Yes.
Would be the first time everybody's wrong about you.
There's no way that they could implement this and boom, like dropped in our laps.
No, live life. You will have to be an FFL if you want to sell.
But likewise, they're getting rid of as many FFLs as possible.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Pause. Let me back up. Sorry, Rich. So Live Life's question, you can't meet at an FFL and pay the transfer fee. So you're saying
you're making a profit. Or you're selling multiple of the same gun.
So if somebody just wants to clear out their personal collection or cut it in half or sell multiple guns, meeting somebody like in a state like Virginia, for an example, where private transactions are no longer okay, right? A lot of people meet at a gun shop and then they, whatever, they do the 4473 at the shop. So you're saying even if you were, sorry, I'm getting a little hype. Even if somebody was meeting at a gun shop, if you're making any profit at all beyond what you purchased it for, then you have to get an FFL.
It depends. I mean, that's still being worked out. So like anything can change right now.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I understand this. Because, I mean, what they may be doing unknowingly is they may be pushing a lot of people to get an 0702 SOT. And they don't want the hundreds of thousands of SOTs running around.
But think about it. And I believe the Democrats have a 100-year plan on everything. So if, let's just say everybody we know, you, me, Crump, everybody gets an 0702 SOT. next thing they can do is take it away from us.
Of course. That's why they're already doing that based on small, clerical errors and, little incidents or clerical errors that are made. They're snatching up FFLs like boom, like that.
And plus, they can go ahead and inspect your stuff no matter
Yeah.
what.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And realistically, the only reason I don't have an 0702 SOT is, I don't want the ATF crawling through my house whenever they want.
Yeah. Several
Not
reasons.
not that they're going to find anything. I don't want that inconvenience for myself and my family.
Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Too
Right.
many choices, 100%. Rights don't require prepayment. Our rights were given
Right.
to us by God.
So, John, if I said, hey, the text of the Second Amendment has nothing to say about, who can sell what, it just says keep and bear arms.
You're absolutely right. That's why I think background checks are unconstitutional. I thought
Okay.
they were unconstitutional before,
But
but
playing devil's advocate on this, I would say, well, wait a second. You can keep and bear all the arms you want. We just want a background check. We just want
but the law it has to be consistent with the text, tradition, and history
right.
of the Second
Brewing.
Amendment. And if it fails that,
Which
So-
includes purchasing and building, privately manufactured firearms, home built firearms
Right.
as well.
This is why Judge Clarence Thomas, you're the man, and Bruin is a big effing deal. It's a BFD because backdoor gun control like this, backdoor registries like this, get the brakes pumped on them. The same reason there is not a voter test, a voter fee, a poll tax, all of those things. Those things have for 100 years have been illegal.
Well,
But
they tried.
Yes, but they've been illegal for 100 years. But they still do that. They charge you for your right to keep and bear arms,
Yeah,
which is a Second Amendment right. And a couple of things that have been determined: a right delayed is a right denied, and you can't charge for this crap. Which
100%. Which is why background checks in themselves are an infringement, because a right delayed is a right denied. So if somebody is privately purchasing a firearm, privately building or manufacturing a firearm, if one is forced to wait to exercise that right, then that's an infringement right there. Every single thing that they are doing is an infringement, and they are out specifically to destroy independence, liberty, and freedom. And this is total garbage. I'll watch my mouth here.
Yeah. So that is what is going on. But since all my information has been correct so far, we should expect a roll by December-ish.
I think you're crazy, Crump.
And to go and not like in effect, but for the public comment period, the proposed roll.
So the ATF is able to just I'm sorry.
The goal to be in the comment period by January 1st.
So let me ask this.
You know what's really funny though? The rule, they want to have the rule in effect by September 1st, and they wanted to have the
tomorrow.
No, September 1st of 2024.
Okay, I was like, what?
and they wanted to have the rule announced, the executive order out by September 1st. And that's what my sources told, and that's what I've told you and Rich before. It's August 31st, so my sources.
So is Hunter Biden going to trade all his firearms beforehand?
He's already pawned them for crack, I'm sure.
So on the side of the road.
Two things I want to point, or one thing, and then the super chat really quickly. I just want to add. Rumdog117 says the irony is everyone blames Biden for this, but it was Trump, your dear leader, who started it. 100% true.
He's not my dear leader.
Well, no,
I've
not
discussed
yours.
That.
I'm just basing it off of his comment. I'm saying it like that. That not, and he's 100% correct based on the way that the bump stocks were pushed. But yeah, y'all know better. Go ahead.
100%. This all goes back to Trump. It
That
leads
was
back to Trump.
the beginning where
100% leads back to Trump.
the ATF was able to make moves with zero legislation and zero act of Congress and pushing rules and categorizing them under federal law to carry the full, punishment. Sorry, go ahead. You can answer.
Word each other's right. All right. What about if you want to trade someone firearm for firearm or firearm for ammo
Or chickens and
or
eggs.
whatever? I don't think that actually falls under this rule. I mean, from everything that I've seen, I haven't seen anything about trading firearms.
So one could trade for items that are more expensive,
Yeah, I
but
guess.
not sell them. Makes a lot of sense.
But they'll probably say that you're trying to do structure or whatever. They'll come up with some stupid crap like that. So yeah, is there any other questions out there, fearless leader?
4D chess, right? Trump is a clown with a fragile ego. Ooh, and
That is true.
Trump said, "Take the
I'm
guns
gonna cry.
first."
I'm gonna
Take the
cry.
guns
100%
first.
true.
Yeah,
Too.
Trump is. Hey, look, I am wearing my Trump hat. I'm a big Trump supporter. You guys are 100% correct. Bump stocks and red flag laws. Trump has a 0 out of 10 on. Definitely.
Yeah. Agreed. No, the ATF changed rules on NFA purchase under Obama. I used to not have to take photos and fingerprints for trusts, but as I said, that is true.
That is true. That was changed under Obama when they did the photos and fingerprints thing.
Yeah.
They did get rid of the the head of law enforcement approval though.
Yeah, that's true. They used to have the Clio sign off on each individual one, and with a revocable living trust. Well, never mind. Actually, won't talk about that. Yeah, that was changed under. That was under Obama too, right? You said when removing the chief law enforcement officer sign off.
Yeah.
That was the same thing, right?
Yeah, they removed that, but they added other stuff.
To EDU, I've called out Trump more than anyone, but how can you say the Safer Communities Act and this new rule is 100% Trump? Well, no, I don't.
No, it was the gateway drug.
But what we are saying is that the Safer Communities Act and this rule is not 100% Trump.
Yeah.
The
I was just saying the beginning of
changing rules with the force of law by using Chevron deference started with Trump.
Yeah, that was my point. So we were kind of touching on two different subjects there. So I didn't mean to confuse anyone.
Although that they're trying to say that what they're going to try to say is, hey, this isn't Chevron deference. Congress gave us the authority to change this under the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
Yeah.
So that's what we are talking about.
Wow. Drew Bradley. So I'm just reading through chat. Some 35 to 40 years ago, I was required to bring my rifle with me to school. Required to bring your rifle to school for gym class. Walking to school with a rifle over my shoulder. Nowadays, yikes! People give birth. Man, just when people see someone open carrying, it's like, it's crazy.
So
we're in a different.
I graduated high school in the 80s, and I never knew about this, but I found out there was a range, apparently a shooting range in the basement of the school. I didn't even know the school had a basement, but
was it archery or shooting?
As far as I knew, shooting.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any other questions before we get out of here?
I don't think so. And this is a national thing, right? So they're looking at,
it's an EO. It's going to be a national rule.
But I'm saying like states. There's no way damn, this is crazy.
No. The rule is going to have force of law.
That's crazy.
And they're going to try to say that it supersedes any state regulations.
Does it impact auctions? I would guess that it would impact anything
Everything.
in which any commerce of firearms. Except you said there. I haven't read through it, so there isn't anything specifically about trading.
No, there's nothing trading that I've seen.
Now, what about? And I don't want to give them any ideas, but what about when someone gives someone a firearm and then someone later on gives them a gift of cash for their wedding present or something? I mean,
Structuring.
there's
It's gonna be
always
structuring. It's gonna be structuring.
that's such bullshit. They're
You
they're
know it
always
is.
they're always going to find a way to snatch somebody up. I think it's all BS.
Can the Supreme Court overrule the Safer Guns Act, the Safer Communities Act? Yes,
It would have to be challenged to get to that
it
point.
is being challenged.
I mean, it would have to work its way up.
Yeah, it's being
cool.
challenged. It's in the Fifth Circuit Court. It's a GOA case.
You think it'll actually make its way to the Supreme Court?
I don't know. The plaintiffs in the case do watch the channel, so they might be actually watching it. So there you go.
Hey yo! I just want to say shout out to Eric at GOA. Great guy. Had a great dinner with you at XCal. Also,
months and months ago, dude.
I know. I still remember it. You remember it?
I was with Eric a couple weeks ago. I talked to Eric. Did I talk to him? I talked to him yesterday, but
Yeah, Eric Pratt is pure Chad, and he is 100% committed to zero compromise with our natural rights. And you can just tell in the language that he uses, right? He doesn't talk about, your Second Amendment right. He talks about your natural rights that were given to you by your creator that is supposed to be protected by the Constitution of your state and your country. And also,
I did that.
remembering, and this is kind of a crazy thing, it's actually quite nauseating. Remember this: the government's only job is to ensure that your natural rights are not being violated. Look how far we've come, guys.
All right, guys, that is it. So you can follow Flying Rich and Flying Rich and Flying Rich Firearms on YouTube, and you can follow DLD After Dark at DLD After Dark on YouTube. And you have a show tonight.
Yeah, and I also this coming up Saturday at 10 p.m. I will be having the one and only Risky Krisky coming on my show. So I'll see you guys then, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And we'll see you guys at 5 over at John Crump Live.
Yeah,
we'll discuss this some more
with Cyclops Joe Ray.
Okay, that's cool. All right, that works for me. Nice. All right, guys, thanks so much, and stay ever vigilant.